Your soulmate was caught last night. Who were they with? My beloved child. Something happened last night that nobody expected, and the truth is far more complicated than the rumor spreading around it. Someone saw your soulmate with another person long after the world had gone quiet, and within minutes whispers began to grow into stories. Every version sounded convincing. Every version pointed toward betrayal. But what if the one detail everyone repeated was the only detail that was completely wrong? Before you decide what this moment means, stay with me. A single missing piece changes everything, and once you hear it, you may never look at that night the same way again. Your soulmate never imagined anyone was watching. They believed the darkness would keep every emotion hidden, yet unseen eyes followed every step. Was it really a secret meeting? Was it someone from their past? Or was there another reason they chose to leave without telling anyone? Don't skip. The answer is closer than it seems, but the first clue isn't where they went. It's how they looked when they arrived. The people who noticed them expected laughter, confidence, maybe even excitement. Instead, they saw someone carrying the weight of unanswered questions. Their shoulders were tense. Their eyes searched the room as though they were hoping to find courage before saying a single word. Across the table sat a familiar face, but not the one everyone assumed. No romance filled the silence between them. No hidden celebration unfolded. What happened instead was a conversation so serious that even those passing nearby sensed something unusual. Every few moments your soulmate reached into a pocket, touched something hidden there, then pulled their hand away without revealing it. Why? What could be important enough to carry all evening but impossible to show? Something huge is waiting for you, because the object they protected wasn't meant for the person sitting across from them. It was connected to someone else, someone they couldn't stop thinking about. Then everything changed with one unexpected sentence. The person across the table leaned forward and quietly asked, "Are you finally going to tell them?" Those words froze your soulmate completely. They looked down, closed their eyes for a brief moment, and admitted they were terrified that the truth might arrive too late. Not because their feelings had disappeared, but because silence had lasted longer than it should have. Suddenly the meeting no longer looked mysterious, it looked like preparation for a life-changing decision. Yet one final mystery remained unsolved. Before leaving, your soulmate received an unexpected message that drained every bit of confidence from their face. They stood motionless, reading it again and again, before walking away in a completely different direction than anyone expected. Who sent that message, and why did it change everything within seconds? The next piece of the story begins the moment that message is opened. The message refused to leave your soulmate's mind. They stopped beneath a dim streetlight, read it one more time, and for a few seconds the entire world around them seemed to disappear. It wasn't a cheerful text or a casual greeting. It was a question they had been hoping, and fearing, to receive. Are you absolutely certain? Those 4 words carried more weight than anyone watching could understand. Your soulmate didn't answer immediately. They slipped the phone into their pocket, took a slow breath, and looked toward the empty road as if searching for a sign they had waited months to find. Stay till the end, because the next decision they made revealed something no rumor ever mentioned. Instead of going home, they turned back toward the place they had just left, determined to hear one final piece of advice before changing everything. The conversation resumed with a completely different tone. This time, there were no long pauses, only honest questions that had been buried for far too long. "If I tell them everything now, will they believe me?" your soulmate asked quietly. The reply came without hesitation. Truth doesn't become weaker because it arrives late. It only becomes more valuable when it is finally spoken. Those words settled deep inside them. For the first time that night, the fear in their eyes gave way to quiet determination. They reached into their pocket once again and finally revealed the hidden object they had protected all evening. It wasn't jewelry. It wasn't a gift for someone else. It was a carefully folded letter, covered with crossed-out sentences and rewritten thoughts, proof that they had rewritten their feelings again and again because nothing ever seemed good enough. Don't skip. One sentence inside that letter could change everything you think you know. Just as your soulmate prepared to leave, another unexpected figure appeared nearby, someone who had unknowingly witnessed almost the entire evening from a distance. Their expression suggested they had misunderstood every moment they had seen. Without asking a single question, they quietly walked away, already believing they knew the whole story. Within hours, that misunderstanding would begin spreading from one conversation to another, turning uncertainty into certainty and whispers into convincing lies. Your soulmate had no idea that while they were gathering the courage to reveal the truth, someone else was unknowingly creating a version of events that could reach you first. And when that false story finally collided with the letter they were preparing to deliver, only one of them would be believed. Which one would reach you first, the rumor or the truth? Morning arrived, but the silence felt louder than the night before. Before your soulmate could even think about delivering the letter, the rumor had already begun its journey. It passed from one person to another, growing a little more dramatic with every retelling. By the time it reached someone close to you, the story no longer resembled reality. The quiet meeting had become a secret romance. The thoughtful conversation had become a hidden confession. The folded letter had vanished completely from the tale, replaced by assumptions that sounded believable simply because they were repeated so often. Your soulmate sensed that something had shifted, though they couldn't explain why. Have you ever noticed how the loudest stories are sometimes built on the smallest misunderstandings? Something huge is waiting for you, because the truth was about to collide with the lie in the most unexpected way. Determined not to let fear decide their future, your soulmate finally unfolded the letter once more. They read every sentence carefully, stopping at the lines they had rewritten the most. Those weren't the words of someone hiding another relationship. They were the words of someone afraid of losing the one connection that mattered above everything else. Each crossed-out sentence revealed hesitation. Each rewritten line revealed hope. But just as they reached the final page, they noticed something that made their heart race. One corner of the paper was missing. A small section had somehow been torn away without them realizing it. That missing piece contained the very sentence that explained why the late-night meeting had happened in the first place. Without it, anyone reading the letter could easily misunderstand its purpose. Stay with me, because finding that missing fragment suddenly became more important than delivering the letter itself. Then came the moment no one could have predicted. A phone rang nearby, and the person who had unknowingly spread the rumor answered with visible surprise. During that conversation, they learned one tiny detail that shattered everything they thought they knew. Their expression changed instantly from confidence to regret. They looked back toward your soulmate, now realizing they had judged the entire situation without knowing the full story. For a brief second, it seemed they might finally tell everyone the truth. But before they could take a single step, another message appeared on your soulmate's screen, short, urgent, and impossible to ignore. They folded the letter, slipped it back into their pocket, and hurried away without saying a word. The person who could clear everything up was left standing in silence, and the message pulling your soulmate away carried a name you have not heard yet. That single name changed the direction of the entire story. Your soulmate didn't hesitate for even a second. They hurried across the quiet streets, clutching the folded letter tighter than before, knowing that every passing minute could make the misunderstanding even worse. The message had come from someone who knew the missing piece of the truth, someone who had been present long before the rumors were born. But as your soulmate arrived at the meeting place, they found only an empty bench and a small envelope resting where the sender had promised to wait. There was no note explaining the delay. No sign of the person they needed to see. Only a handwritten sentence on the outside of the envelope: "Read this before you let anyone else tell your story. Don't skip, because what waited inside wasn't an explanation, it was evidence." With careful hands, your soulmate opened the envelope and discovered a photograph taken the previous night. At first glance, it looked exactly like the picture everyone would use to support the rumor. It showed your soulmate sitting across from the mysterious person at the table. But after looking closer, another detail appeared in the background. Reflected in a nearby window was someone secretly taking the photograph from a hidden angle. Suddenly everything made sense. The image everyone believed was never meant to reveal the truth. It had been captured from the one position that removed every important detail and created the perfect illusion. Beneath the photograph was another note. Someone wanted this misunderstanding to happen. Your soulmate's heartbeat quickened. If someone had planned this from the beginning, then the rumors weren't spreading by accident. They were being carefully guided. Before there was time to process the discovery, footsteps echoed behind them. Your soulmate turned, expecting to find the person who had sent the envelope. Instead, they came face to face with someone whose presence explained why the night had unfolded so strangely. This individual had watched from the shadows, remained silent while the rumors spread, and now held something even more important than the missing piece of the letter. They slowly lifted a small recording device and whispered, "Everything that was said last night is right here. But once you hear it, you'll understand why someone has been trying so hard to keep you apart." Your soulmate reached for the recorder, just as the screen went dark, leaving only one question waiting to be answered: who was truly afraid of the truth coming out? The silence between them felt heavier than any words either of them could speak. Your soulmate accepted the recorder with trembling hands, but before pressing play, they paused. They already knew the voices inside could change everything. The question was whether the truth would arrive in time. As the recording began, the familiar sounds of the previous night filled the air. Glasses clinked softly. Chairs moved across the floor. Then came the conversation everyone thought they understood, but almost none of it had been heard correctly. The mysterious person never encouraged your soulmate to hide anything. Instead, they kept repeating one sentence: if your feelings are real, stop letting fear speak louder than your heart. Those words shattered the story that had been spreading since sunrise. Stay till the end, because another voice suddenly entered the recording, one that was never supposed to be there. For a brief moment, the room on the recording became completely quiet. Then someone standing several feet away whispered to another person, "Take the picture now. This is exactly how we wanted it to look." Your soulmate froze. They replayed those few seconds again and again, hoping they had misunderstood. But the voices were unmistakable. The photograph had never been an innocent snapshot. It had been captured at the perfect moment to create the appearance of a secret meeting while hiding everything that truly mattered. Even more surprising, the people behind the camera seemed less interested in your soulmate than in making sure you would believe the false story. Why? What could they possibly gain by convincing you that trust had been broken? Something huge is waiting for you, because the recording wasn't finished yet. The final minutes revealed the truth your soulmate had searched for all along. After the conversation ended, the mysterious person quietly handed back the folded letter and said, "When they read this, they'll finally understand why you never stopped choosing them, even in silence." Those words were followed by footsteps fading into the distance, and then one last unexpected sound. A phone vibrated, and the caller's name was spoken aloud by someone nearby. The moment your soulmate heard that name, every unanswered question from the past suddenly connected like pieces of a forgotten puzzle. It wasn't a stranger. It wasn't an old romance. It was someone who had been close enough to know exactly how to create doubt without ever being suspected. Your soulmate looked up from the recorder with a new determination. They no longer wanted to defend themselves. They wanted to uncover the person who had been quietly controlling the story from the very beginning.